Okay. Nope. Now I'm too quiet. Ooh, hello. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Yay. I have
like an Adele Taylor Swift crossover there.
Yes, it was. Hi, Allie.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Shannon. Shannon, how are you?
I am doing great. I'm in a much better state because I'm actually in my state.
That's true.
So I'm home. So I'm hoping we'll get back to like a normal schedule again.
Yeah.
You know, just in time for the end of the regular season.
It's fine.
It's great. But I actually have a question for you, Sarah.
Yeah, I see that. And I have no idea where this could possibly be going.
Oh, I think it's obvious.
Really?
But that's because I know the question.
You do know the question. I don't.
So how is it possible? I had a conversation with Allie about this. I told my dad about this. My dad had a conniption. He freaked out. But how is it possible, Sarah, that you are a Devils fan, right?
Yep.
Your dad is a Rangers fan. I get that.
Yep.
I get it. But now your sister is a Flyers fan.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
what's going on there?
And so
I gave her so much shit for it.
What is happening?
I don't know. I think the reality of it is just that I'm a trendsetter. And I'm going to take credit for this, even though my dad has been a Rangers fan since before I was born. Fine. So yeah, everyone has just reemerged in their hockey fanness.
How did you guys get
this
one of
podcast.
Each?
I don't know. Yeah, that is interesting.
Is your mom secretly an Islanders fan?
No, she's on my side here.
Thank God.
Okay,
thankfully.
Good. We got two Devils.
Mm-hmm.
We're outnumbering them.
Yeah. I think she's like technically closer to Philadelphia, so that makes it easier for her to get to those games than she is to DC, even though you would think.
Yeah.
But no. But at least she's not a Capitals fan.
Yeah, honestly.
Yes.
It could have been worse.
Because it really could have been worse.
I guess we'll take Flyers as the lesser of those two evils.
Yeah.
It's a thin line though.
It is very thin.
Yeah.
But I just found it fascinating. I was thinking about it. I was like, wow, it's both rivalries in the family. I was like, that feels intense.
And I've been treating her like a rival fan, particularly when she talks about the games and the players on the teams and everything. And, when she makes a little silly joke about Jack falling down. And then I treat her like a rival fan too. And she gets all offended. Like, well, you picked a rival team. What did you expect?
Honorary Hot Girls Hockey member. I guess she can be on the show now. She can be our official Flyers correspondent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She could do a little bit sometimes if you want.
Jamie Drysdale and Gritty.
He's her favorite. So
classic.
I'll take Gritty content all day. If she would bring a Gritty segment, that would be wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
This week on Gritty.
Well, this is Hot Girls Hockey, born in Jersey. Our weekly opinions on the Devils. There's no facts here because we analyze by vibes. So let's roll into our red carpet report of this week. Allie, what is happening?
I'm going to make you angry this week.
Why?
Whoa.
Why? It's not necessary. I'm sleepy, but I don't want to be angry.
So at the start, we have an outfit that's not on the list. It just is getting a special recognition.
It's just here. Okay.
It's just here.
Okay, that's fine.
So does that count for the semi-weekly special award? Or
no, I have something else for that actually.
All right.
Oh,
good to know.
I just wanted to comment on the fact that Nico Hischier has a new suit. It's that time of year. They're not wearing like their cold weather outfits anymore. So they're bringing out more regular suits. Something has happened to Nico and all of his pants are like a couple centimeters too short.
Yeah, they kind of are, huh?
I don't know why he's doing that. I think just to piss me off.
Maybe
he's just wearing them a little higher up.
Maybe
that's also possible.
Maybe
I don't know.
Likes a little high-waisted action, maybe? I don't know.
He's trying to show off his waist.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that. I just like this suit. It's a two-piece suit. It's just a shade of blue that we haven't seen before.
I like the color.
That's why I picked it.
It
looks good on him.
There's no tie. And he's still wearing these stupid sneakers and the beanie. So
I don't hate it with this though. I think
Okay.
it works. you
Yeah.
know?
I think the colors that brown works with the
Yeah.
pants.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's cohesive.
I like it. It would be somewhere on the list if it weren't for the outfits that came later.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
All
Is
right.
your next image like a little warning sign?
Yeah, it's just a warning image.
It didn't come up. Is that on purpose?
No, it didn't.
Who's that devil? I don't know this one.
The warning sign can represent any devil.
Yeah, it could.
All right. If you scroll down past the warning sign, we have, you know what? Let's play Who's That Devil? Because who is that devil?
Wait,
Well, where's the image?
It's loading.
Okay.
It's
You
loaded
mean
for me.
Kovacevic?
Is it Kovacevic? Because the
Yes.
more I
Yes.
look at it,
It definitely
It
is.
is.
okay.
Yes.
I talked myself into thinking this was Brendan Dillon for a second.
Mm.
Do you know what it is?
It's
His
the
hair isn't
it's
done
the
right.
hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
He normally really styles his
Okay.
hair and has like those little curls in the front, but I think he was just wearing a hat and took it off.
Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah, I was struggling with this. Anyway, he has a pinstripe suit on. This is the week of the semi-weekly special award.
Okay.
I know I'm jumping around this week. There's
I
no
like
rules.
that.
Oh,
The reason why, Shannon, if you would please draw your attention to the socks.
Hold on.
I
gotta
gotta
shrink it.
I'm shrinking. I got
All
it.
right. Thank you.
Oh,
Shrinking.
sorry, I forgot. You guys don't have iPads,
Nope.
so you can't just
Oh.
zoom in and out the way I can.
Whoa!
I love it.
Are those strawberries?
They are.
Yeah.
I think Dougie started a trend.
I think he did.
Was it Dougie? Who
Pizza
was it?
socks? Yeah, I think
Pizza
it was Dougie.
socks.
Yes.
That's fun.
I love
I'm so
this.
into this. I love it. Black pinstripes with the fun socks. That's speaking to my heart there, man. I love it.
Whenever a man thinks maybe I should have my slutty little ankles out, no. Say to yourself, silly little socks out.
Always.
That's what the people want to see.
Mhm.
It's funny if I'm want to express feeling like I feel a little sexy today, I'll actually show off my ankles, but that's the limit.
Wow.
Wow.
Shannon's
Okay.
showing off a
I'll
little
put
bit of
on
ankle.
flip flops and you'll see my ankle,
Wow.
but you'll never see anything else.
We do different things.
Yeah, we do. So every time you say that, I'm like, yeah, that's me in the summer.
Yeah.
Shannon's slutty little ankles.
A true Victorian lady.
I just
Oh my
burn
God.
easily.
That's true.
Moving right along.
I'm excited about the next one.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna talk about these in a specific order. We're gonna start
Okay.
with Jacob Markstrom.
Okay.
How do you guys feel about this?
Love it.
All
Yep.
right. Tell me why.
It's fun,
Coat.
but it still works.
What are we looking at?
I'm looking at purple pants. I'm looking at like this darker blue turtleneck with like a whitish gray beanie. And then the jacket is just this green and blue plaid pattern, but it's not like
It's like a tartan type flag.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yes.
it technically is because I don't know all
Yes.
the rules about tartan, but that's
No,
but I
but-
like
That's what I would envision it to be.
yeah.
all these colors are like slightly off in the same way. I don't know
Yeah.
how to
Yeah.
like they're not all pastels, but there's something and I like
They're
it.
like kind of dull-ish colors in
Yeah.
a way.
They're cool toned. Yeah.
yes.
They're kind of cool toned, maybe.
And I'm also in love with how this photo is taken. It's like caught you.
It's an upward
Like,
angle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Upward
Heavy
angles.
flash.
Yes.
I
think
love a
it's
flash
fun.
photo. Yeah. I think these pants are actually probably like a charcoal black that lean a little purple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
probably.
the flash is doing some heavy lifting, but I like it. Anytime Markstrom leans into his fisherman vibe,
Uh-huh.
I think it works.
Every time.
We're going to skip over the other person in this photo for
All
now.
right.
The
Whoa.
order is
Oh.
relevant. We're going to scroll down. Next photo, also a dramatic flash upward angle photo,
Incredibly.
is Curtis Lazar in a teal plaid. Like, I don't want to say it's satin, but I think it's like a
It's
satin cotton
so
like
hard to
blend
tell.
or like
Yeah,
a
it's
silk
very
wool
difficult.
blend. It has like a slight sateen effect to it.
Yeah. Definitely
Mhm.
has a shine to it.
I love this color so much.
The hesitation, Sarah. Do you feel
My
the same?
initial shock to this was I hate this. But now that I'm
Really?
looking at it more, like, why do I hate it? This is
You hate
wacky.
blue.
I do hate blue, but I liked it on Markstrom.
Oh,
I liked it on Nico. It works, you know? And this one is just, it's something. And I'm a fan when they do something, you know?
That really does sum up my opinions on the Devils. I'm a fan when they do something.
Yeah.
Something. Cool.
Maybe it's the angle they took the picture from. I don't know, but something about this, it just calls to me.
I love this jacket. I think it's a super unflattering profile shot, and it really
we're not
bugs
talking
me.
about his face.
The angle that they're taking these photos at is a little, it's a choice.
It makes me mad.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
But the pose of the sway of the walk, I'm like, yes.
Well, so here's where I talked about things maybe being a little controversial this week. This is my
You
favorite
said you were
outfit.
Yep.
This is the best outfit of the week. I like it.
Yep.
Marchand
agree
gets
with you.
second.
Okay.
Oh, I agree with you.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I agree.
So here's where I reveal this is not the controversial part.
It's not?
Can we scroll back up to that photo of Marchand?
Oh, okay.
please?
You're going to give him improvement.
Can we please look to the person standing next to Jacob Markstrom?
Yep, I sure can.
I'm already upset.
I, for the first time ever on Hot Girls Hockey, have to admit that I hate this outfit Timo Meier is wearing.
Wow.
I don't know if it's the angle.
This is not the first time.
Is it?
No.
You have a great memory, Shannon.
There was a time, I know, where the picture was just like the way the photo was taken, the suit looked really bad. And you were like, he reminds me of my dad. Do you remember that
That's
one?
like a double.
I
do remember that.
specifically, and you gave it
pilgrim
like,
shaped.
yes. And you're like, that was a bad suit.
Well, this time, you know how we said Markstrom's wearing all these different colors, but they kind of vibe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Timo's wearing 2 different shades of blue, pinstripe pants, and then a solid blue jacket. Those zoom in, Shannon. Those are pinstripe.
Ever so slightly. Yeah.
And these are just not in the same blue family
You're right.
at all.
That is what the issue is with this. They don't go.
And then the second issue is that jacket is cut. Timo Meier is a tall man.
Yes, he is.
This jacket is cut in a way I didn't know you could make Timo look stubby.
Yeah, he looks small.
I think it's partially the photo, and it's also weird. Like it's shortening his torso, but then like the pocket down, it's very
and
odd.
then the hem right at the thigh. I hate this. I hate this a lot. He's also getting his pants hemmed wherever Nico goes.
Yeah, well, probably. BFFs.
I don't like this. I don't like this outfit. I'm sorry, Timo.
I agree there is room for improvement, but I don't hate it. But I have Timo bias, so
I think this is room for most improvement.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay.
Timo's gonna like show up next week in that black and white double-breasted 3-piece suit that I love just to
say
just to shake it up.
just to show off.
Because he can.
I think Eric Holla needs to wear some weird shit again.
Yes.
been a
I want
while.
more weird cookie photos.
Where's he been?
Weird what photos?
The photos when they were at
Him with
Calandra's and they
Nico
were like
and the
eating.
Oh, okay.
that
Eric
kind of
Hall is
stuff.
eating a big baguette.
Yeah. I
that's
thought that
great.
was funny.
Send them back to Calandra's.
You can also check out all these looks that we mentioned here and judge for yourself on our TikTok and on YouTube page. Just look for the video titled Red Carpet Report, episode 44. All right, Sarah. What is our weekly update? Because I think a lot of shit went down since the last time we recorded.
So
Yeah.
good at our recording schedule.
Yeah.
It's
We pick really
fine.
good times and then they'll do something, immediately after. It's okay.
God, what's
It's
going to
only,
happen tomorrow?
The third time that it's happened or
Remember
something.
last episode where we were like, maybe Jack will get surgery.
Yeah.
If we say maybe it'll happen, you can know by the time we edit this episode, that thing has already happened.
It's guaranteed.
The amount
Yeah.
of times that we have predicted to a T things that have happened, and no one's ever going to believe us because we release the episode right after.
Yes.
Anyway, Sarah, sorry.
So things did happen, but yet at the same time, we are still just chilling in the exact same spot that we have been at for quite some time now, which is still third in the Metropolitan Division. We've got 80 points, 37 wins, 26 losses, 6 overtime losses. Gives us an 8-point cushion for the playoffs for now. Thank God.
Yes.
We noticed this earlier today that everybody who has a ranked spot going into the playoffs, so everyone who's not a wild card,
Mm-hmm.
they have more points than the Devils. The Devils are the bottom of the top.
Yeah, we are.
So
that's where we're good at
That's
being.
the energy that this team brings.
Yep. If that ain't accurate, then I don't know what is. Since we last recorded, we had the trade deadline. So there were some moves made for our team and also around the NHL. I think we talked about the LeChance trade in the last episode that we did, because that happened a little bit before. But we also acquired Brian Dumoulin, Dennis Cholowski, Cody Glass, Jonathan Gruden, Daniel Sprong, and Mark McLaughlin.
Wow.
Yep, that's all I'm going to say. It's a lot of people. We actually didn't lose anybody who's on the main NHL roster, which I think we said we expected none of them were going to leave, and none of them did. So
I don't have much to say about that. I know there was like hullabaloo about this, but I'd never even with Jack's injury, I'd never expected them to actually make big changes.
No. And also everything was like too late.
Yeah, everyone did
Jack's
decide to get injured at once. Dougie and Zeeks and Jack. And
And I agree with this. I think it'd be silly to make big moves as a reaction. It's like where we're already at in this season. I think it works for us.
I think it's reasonable with the amount of cap space you have putting that many people on long-term injury reserve. But like, what did you have to offer that quickly?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They weren't willing to give up what it potentially would have cost to make such a big move like that.
Yes.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a disastrous rebuild happen.
I agree.
Now. We don't need to,
I don't think we need to. I think we just need to hang on.
Are they going to crash and burn in the first round of the playoffs?
100%.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward
Especially
to it.
now that we have said it on the show, it is guaranteed to happen because that's how it goes.
We're usually not wrong.
It's going to be in game 7 by 1 point.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Okay.
throwing the prediction out there
I don't know.
now.
I was going with game 6, but
Okay.
Yeah.
stringing it out to game 7 is possible.
I'd like it. It'd be fun.
Other teams did some silly stuff. I like that.
Yeah, some crazy stuff personally. Mikko Rantanen got traded from the Hurricanes to the Dallas Stars. I don't think it's going well for him over there from what I've heard, but I don't really keep too much tabs on the Stars. But the craziest one of all, I think, because to me, this came out of nowhere. Like I heard no rumors about this whatsoever. And then it just happened. The Boston Bruins traded their captain, Brad Marchand, to the Florida Panthers.
I like this. Honestly, everyone's talking about, what are the Devils going to do? I don't care. I'm over there scrolling through Brad Marchand Twitter. Right. I love it. I love it. Send the rat man to the rat team.
He said king now.
He's what?
Rat, what?
He said he's the rat king now.
Did he really?
Just
I'm
like
pretty
the
sure
Nutcracker.
that's what it was a while ago now. But yep.
Like, you know what? I'll watch that sound. This seems like a fun playoff lineup.
Yes.
It's insane. Speaking of the Florida Panthers, not too long after that, Aaron Ekblad was suspended for 20 games without pay for violating the terms of the NHL's performance enhancing substance program.
Do we know what substance it was?
I don't. I didn't look into it.
Just curious.
But that happened.
Well,
James.
Dang. First time I heard about somebody violating that since we started recording this podcast, or that I've been paying attention to it.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't pay
It's
that.
a long amount of games that will take him through the end of the season, and I think barely bring him back once the playoffs have started. I think he'll be like game 3 of round 1 or something. And last but not least, the Sharks are officially the first team eliminated from playoff contention. Poor guys.
Come on.
Yeah.
At least they don't have to go through the stress of everybody else who's like in this crazy race for the wild card
That's
right
true.
now.
Oh, jeez. They need the first round draft pick every draft for like the next 7 years.
I know. Yeah.
Hey, it's working for them this
Is
year.
it?
Hope
They just eliminated.
As a vibe for the team.
What are you
as a vibe for the team, people are loving what Will Mack or whatever the girlies say. I don't know.
They call him Will Mack?
No, it's Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini. They're like good buds, I guess.
Oh, that's like the dynamic duo name.
It's their
Gotcha.
Anyway,
All
I
right.
feel like we could come up with a better name. I'm going to put that in
come
my
up with a better
pocket
name, Shannon.
and
right.
come back to it later. No, I got to come back to it later.
Okay.
I'll think about it when I'm in the car, and then it'll come to me, and then I'll text you
Oh,
guys.
okay. I was going to say we'll do it at the end of the show, but sure.
So this season is hot. Probably going to the playoffs. Fingers crossed. We're hot, and you're hot. And if you want to show off your outfit ensemble at an upcoming Devils game, or frankly, any event that is an excuse to go out on the town, then use our discount code HotGirlsHockey for $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. And maybe we'll catch you on the red carpet. Okay. We got a lot of games to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, like, a lot. So let's start off with Winnipeg. What happened in Winnipeg besides just losing?
Nothing good.
Did anything happen?
This is really a philosophical question. Did anything happen in Winnipeg? And I
No.
think many scholars have tried to answer this. And the answer is no, nothing happened in Winnipeg. So we don't need to
No.
talk about it.
Okay.
What? Nothing ever happens in Winnipeg. What could possibly be happening there?
Winnipeg is actually a figment of your imagination.
It might be. Yeah. Yeah. It was a bad showing. Not a good game.
Oh, can you explain to us your lovely diagram, Sarah?
Yeah, I do like this photo that you've provided.
I didn't circle this, but I saw somebody else do that. The Devils somehow did not score in this image, despite the puck being what, maybe half a foot away from the goal line.
Half a foot is generous. That's
It's just sitting there.
Yeah, that is very generous. It is a couple of inches away.
This
It's
is-
unbelievable.
this is a photo.
It's behind the goalie.
Jesper Bratt. Is that Jesper Bratt right there?
Can't tell.
I think that's Bratt. It looks
I
like
see
it's
a 6.
63.
Looking like one. It's such a good quality photo. I can't really tell.
Brad-
yeah,
is right
it's
there.
63.
The
Yep.
puck is kissing the red line.
Yep.
The net is completely open. I'm shocked the goalie didn't just accidentally
Knock it
knock it
in.
in.
Backwards movement, kind of like, how did this not happen? How? That's how it's about, kind of sums up how this game went.
6-1.
6-1.
It's been a
6-1.
while since we've done
Yeah.
something like that.
Pretty bad. Not a fun guy. Not a fun game.
I love this note that just says, when did they score a third time? Like the Jets were just scoring so often you couldn't
Yep.
even keep track of it.
It was just too many times. And then once it was up to 4, I just, nah.
Yep.
This
Turn
is
this
something
one away.
we can put a pin in this. We'll get into it a little bit more later.
Shwink.
But the Devils, when they lose, boy, do they do it spectacularly.
Yeah.
We'll talk
They
about
do.
this in regards to a more recent game. So we can,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
like, wow.
But yeah, wow.
Wow.
All right.
Nothing happened in Winnipeg.
Things happened in Philly, but, redacted team name.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But
Right.
we won.
We did win this one.
Because the Devils don't lose to the Flyers. That's
No.
not legal.
Absolutely
No,
not.
Not allowed.
Yeah.
Ever.
My sister was at this game,
Rooting for the
Oh,
where she
wrong
was.
team.
Yep.
Traitor.
but my mom was also there wearing red to support the Devils.
Queen.
So that's why they won. I watched this one in the airport because our flight got delayed a couple of times. So we were on and off watching this game. This was the start of Sprong and Cody Glass. And Cody Glass was actually the one who scored the first goal of the game.
Yeah.
They
Which
did, yeah.
rocks.
Yeah, you love when you trade for. And you know what's so funny? It was so interesting to see how quick the mood online in reaction to this trade shifted. Went from being "Who the hell's Cody Glass?"
Yep.
to "Oh, all right, Cody Glass."
Like, yeah, we love you now, actually. We've always
Actually.
loved you.
Cody Glass is our favorite.
Yeah, it wasn't the best playing that the Devils have done ever. There were a lot of turnovers that were happening that were kind of silly. And if it had been against any team that wasn't the current bottom of the Metropolitan Division team,
Where they
it would have
belong.
been it would have been a little bit worse than the score ended up, but they got it through. They made it work. It would have been a shutout if it weren't for Jamie Drysdale, who scored with less than 5 minutes left. And it was very clearly offsides. And we could see that on the broadcast, obviously, because they replay it 1.5 million times. They never called it offsides, but it 100% was. And my sister, I said this, because I was texting her because she was at the game.
Yeah.
And a couple days later, she went back and rewatched a clip of that goal, and she paused it frame by frame to see. She was like, "Oh, you were right. This was actually super offsides," and it super was. I should have included that image here.
Oh, and then the one time we're offsides, Nate Bastian almost has a shorty.
You know what?
Yeah.
I don't even. If the Devils even breathe the thought of offsides, it's getting called. I love that Dawson Mercer got the empty net goal. You know, he heard the trade deadline rumors and was like, yeah, gotta score
once.
my weekly insurance goal.
Solidify himself as an it boy again.
Exactly. You know what? I'll take it. I think the reality is the Flyers were never going to do well in a year where Philly was already allowed to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you can't do both. No.
Because Philadelphia is not allowed to have that much joy.
No, there would be no city left.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For the sake of Philadelphia, the Flyers had to tank their game.
Yes.
And if that means the Devils get a scrappy win out of it, take the points and run.
Yes.
All right. Let's get into the meat. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
This is, we kind of speed run through because this is where the momentum shifts. This is where things change.
Yeah.
This is the highlight
possibly
of the Devil season.
Yeah.
A highlight for us.
Potentially.
What?
We have 2 wins in a row.
We have more than 2 wins in a row, Shannon.
Oh my gosh, we do.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
But that's not what I'm talking about.
I know
that is not the important part. Yes.
This is what's going to change the tide for the New Jersey Devils. Sarah, would you do the honors? Tell the people what happened on March 11th.
Mrs. Fields finally won the dessert race.
Hell yeah, she did.
After 30 home games, not winning a single one.
She took home the crown.
She finally did it. And I think that was exactly what the Devils needed for this game.
Yes.
This was a pretty important game. This one would either give the Devils a bit more of a buffer between them and obviously Columbus for the wild card spot, or it would bring Columbus up a little bit closer to maybe taking it from the Devils.
It was dicey.
Yeah,
for a moment.
They needed those points
dicey
against the Flyers because those are, divisional points. But this is really the team that you need to take them from. This is really, but as much as I'm joking about Mrs. Fields, I do think in an alternate universe, it is possible that things look a little bit different if Columbus wins this game.
Massively different.
Definitely. Absolutely.
It was a scoring fest. It was one of those classic Devils games where just everyone got a piece.
Did Timo score?
You bet he did.
Okay, good. March Meyer Madness, baby.
It sure continues.
Good.
I feel like we need another stat of when Nico scores the first goal.
Oh.
How often they win.
That's such a good...
feel like when Nico scores first, the game tends to go well.
I'll back check that.
I'm going to go back and see.
I feel like that one will be easy for us to figure out.
But yeah, Nico obviously got the first one, and then DJ Pauly C was able to get one shortly thereafter. And Brat scored immediately after Mrs. Fields won the dessert race. He was fueled by it. Yeah.
Yes, because they did an interview with Cotter after. He's like, one of the reporters asked him about hey, did you see Mrs. Fields won? He's like, oh. He's like, yeah, I noticed people were going crazy for something on the Jumbotron. And I thought that was about us, but it wasn't. It was something along those lines.
Yeah.
It wasn't word for word, but that's what was implied.
He had no idea what people were cheering for.
They fed off the energy and it was adorable.
Maybe you have a point there, Shannon. They didn't know that we were rooting for an animated cookie.
No,
maybe not.
They didn't.
They thought we were rooting for them.
Yeah. Just saying, we could be more supportive.
And you know what? That support worked. The Devils took the early lead. Well, we got Nico scoring, Paul Cotter scoring, Brat scoring, and that turned the Jackets were kind of like, oh, maybe we should play.
Yeah. So they did come out with a little bit more possession in the second than they had in the first, and they were able to actually tie the game up for a little bit, which was a little terrifying. And I thought it was because I had said beforehand, I'm confident they can do this. They can absolutely win this one. And then all of a sudden, oh no, maybe not.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
But then who comes in to save us but one Timo Meyer, continuing Meyer Madness month.
Love it.
Good. I've been worried about it. I was worried we jinxed it when we initially talked about it. So I hadn't been following close enough to know if it was coming to fruition or not.
It's real.
Okay, good.
And Sarah, something I've been looking out for that I've been missing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that this was some sexy passing?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It went from, it was down the ice from Nason to Dumoulin, one of our new guys, and then to Timo, just right into the net. Beautiful, just solid passing.
I feel like that
Beautiful.
So much is what I've been missing from them. These connected passes, which sounds stupid to say because you're like, it's
it's
like
basic,
a simple thing,
maybe.
But that is something that I think when they can just like pass and set up these perfect plays. I love
That's
it.
their gold.
I love it when they're not turning it over. They're just passes are connecting. I don't know. It's so sleek when it works.
But yeah, to top it all off, Luke gets a beautiful wrist shot, goes right over Columbus's goalie, whose name is Elvis. Did you know that?
I did know that because he is my favorite name of any goalie in the NHL. Elvis Merzlikins.
Yeah.
That is my favorite.
World.
That the joy every time the Devils play the Blue Jackets is that I get to see Elvis Merzlikins, which is my favorite name.
It's incredible. I
It's
love it.
It's a great name.
But Luke was able to get one past him and scored, sealing the win, getting those 2 points, building the buffer.
Yes.
And it was the first time they've won 2 in a row since January 25th.
That's depressing. This was March 11th. Is January 25th after the break, right? Or is that before?
No, the Four Nations break before.
Yeah.
Before.
Okay, so
Yep,
that's
before.
a slightly less pathetic then. There was a break in there.
But still.
Rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to be able to do more than 2 for the playoffs.
2. Yeah. If it had been like a higher number, sure, it wouldn't be so bad of a stat, but 2.
Put a pin in that. Remind me during the Penguins game. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Boink.
Remember
pins now.
You remember these pins, right, Shannon?
Yeah.
I don't remember the first one.
Me neither. I just remember the sound. We'll come back to it.
Will we?
No, but in editing,
I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both of them are going to come back in the Penguins game.
It
actually.
should, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's when both of those pins will come out of the corkboard there.
Okay.
Shall we talk about Edmonton?
Yes.
So we went to this game at the Rock. Had a great time.
This game rocked at the Rock. That was
Yeah,
my
it
only
did.
note.
Nice.
It's like
I was
Oilers fans, I have a proposal. I have a proposition.
Okay.
Are Oilers fans the Chiefs fans of the NHL?
Oh.
I don't know. Because
It's
Panthers
them
fans.
or Toronto, maybe.
Oh, Toronto.
But no, because Toronto can't win. So no.
Yeah.
Maybe it is Edmonton. You're right.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm just biased because of the orange thing. I'm not really sure. All I know is like people showed up and showed out for the Oilers. Like,
yes, they did.
I'm going to be honest, Rangers fans don't even show up to the Rock like that.
I was shocked, but my dad was because the people behind us were heavily commenting, but it was a full row of Oilers fans, not annoying or anything, but just commenting in such a manner that my dad was like, I just don't want to say anything because he just could feel that one of them was just going to try to get into not an argument.
No, there were
but
people
a
getting
debate.
into arguments.
They wanted to debate with you.
No,
Like,
people were
that's
getting
how
kicked out of
they-
this game, Shannon.
Oh.
Yes.
I missed this.
Yes.
Oh.
This
Wow.
was what I'm saying. Oilers
Okay.
fans, these fans were, no, there were a couple of people. I mean, it's not as bad as some like Rangers or Flyers games that I've been to, but that's a little bit different energy. But no.
That's just more drunk energy.
People were getting, People were getting into fights. There was some guy after the game too. I know someone who got like in trouble in the middle of the game, an Oilers fan. And then after the game, the Devils won this game, obviously. I was like standing next to this Oilers fan who every single time a Devils fan, as you're walking out of the Rock, everyone goes, woo.
Yeah, there's a lot of woos because it echoes and it's fun.
Yeah. And this one guy kept being like, he would literally scoff every single time someone went woo. And he was like, well, it was their first time they've ever won a game. Must be the first time they've ever won a game. It's just their first time ever winning a game. What? Oh, it's just your first time. I was like, bruh.
Okay.
Can you relax?
It's all right. Okay.
Some dude was dressed up like head to toe in like,
Yeah, he was.
I don't even know how to describe what he was wearing. It was sparkly.
It was like,
Kind of looked like a trucker.
yeah.
I feel like he might be like, I feel like Oilers fans might know him. Like he might be a guy who like goes to games and dresses up like this.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was cool.
Well, you know what they didn't have?
Not a win.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. But yeah. You're right. They didn't
What were you going to
have,
say?
no one was dressed up as a cookie.
Yeah,
that's true.
But Devils fans
That's
had
true.
that. People showing up in their Annie Ann's costumes.
So
Annie Ann's is the pretzel.
Oh.
Mrs. Fields. So this was
Annie
fun.
Ann's and Mrs. Fields are girlfriends.
This
It
was
should be,
the
yeah.
highlight again for this game. This was Mrs. Fields' second win. And I think Mrs. Fields, I don't know how it works. I'm like, is the race just actually like randomly generated, or did Mrs. Fields just start paying for their
Paying for
sponsorship?
It has to be that.
But
yeah.
I feel like it worked for
She
them.
might go all the way.
Yeah, because I'm just like, now it's getting so much attention
Yeah.
because they hadn't been winning. So maybe this is a part of their marketing ploy the
Right?
whole time to promote
Was it
Mrs.
intentional?
Fields.
I don't know.
All right. So about the actual game, Dougie is out for the rest of the season. I don't think that was announced. I don't know if that was announced
I can't
specifically before
remember.
this game or before
Not
the previous
sure.
one. This
I
was
don't
the
remember.
game that it sank in for me, and I felt
Yeah.
sad.
He not coming back.
What even happened? Do we know? I have no idea. Do we know
Nope.
what his injury is? Just
I
that he's
genuinely
out?
don't know.
Did it happen on the
And
ice?
the
Yeah.
Devils organization also never says anything. The fact that we know like
Huh.
that Jack had surgery is like an anomaly, frankly.
Wow.
It's lower body, so it's presumably it's not related to his injury
not
that he
from-
recovered from
okay.
last year.
Okay, that's what I was worried
I mean,
about.
that's good.
It was during the last Dallas game. I
Okay.
remember him.
Huh.
So he and Siegs are recovering on the same defenseman couch. But you know what? They were coming into this with 2 wins. Oh, it's a little intimidating.
Yeah.
Oh, they're playing the Oilers is a little intimidating too. You know, Shannon, what are you thinking of if you have to play the Oilers? Like, what do you want to like lock down? Like, what's your strategy? What are you gonna?
Just cover McDavid.
Yeah,
That's all that matters.
yeah. Maybe Drysdale too. You know.
Yeah, probably him too.
Yeah.
But
But, like, that's
McDavid's
really
the
it.
first. Yeah.
I imagine the Devils are in their locker room and they have like a whiteboard on the wall, and then they just have like.
What's on the whiteboard, Allie?
they have just like a headshot of Connor McDavid,
Uh-huh.
like a
This is
mugshot.
Very Dance Moms pyramid
It's
style.
very Dance Mom's Pyramid
Mhm.
style. Yeah, exactly. And they're
Mhm.
like, and then Sheldon Keefe has like a pointer or like a laser pointer, and he like smacks the whiteboard. He's like,
Yep.
Connor McDavid, don't let him do anything. And then he
Keep
like
away from him.
slaps up a picture of Drysdale,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, Leon Drysdale, don't let him do anything.
Him too.
And then he goes, who is up to this challenge?
We know who raised their hand.
And Nicotine Hischer,
Yep.
raises
Himself.
his hand. Sure.
He locked
Add
it
it to my
down.
list. Yeah, I mean, this is like you say every game, but like Nico's so good and so dedicated, and that's really all he did this game. And he really had to like, Jack's not here, so it really felt like they threw Nico at both Drysdale and McDavid and just said distract them,
Yeah,
get in
just
their
figure it out.
way for the
Yes.
entire game, and then the rest of the team can just scramble with their weird ass lines. There
Yeah.
were some weird ass lines going on here.
We've got some blender lines happening now, and I think that's just how it's going to be from now on.
Yeah, until they find, because he's just probably trying to find the right place for Glass and how do you say it? Dumoulin.
Dumoulin, yeah.
It's funny. I thought Dumoulin and Glass were the same person at first.
Nope. Yeah, but they're not.
I was struggling.
Let me give you some lines we had this game.
Okay.
Top, we had Timo, Nico, Nason. Cool, fine.
Okay.
Second,
Huh.
we had Palat, Mercer, Tatar.
Huh?
Third, Holla, Glass, Brat.
Bizarre.
Fourth,
What?
Cotter, Lazar, Bastion.
The most normal we've seen so
Yeah,
far.
frankly, yeah.
What is that second line? That's crazy.
But, I mean, this is what
Okay.
we're just
Well,
we're doing shit.
Yeah.
It
Sheldon Keefe
works.
knows something that we do not. So
yes.
And Jake Allen was the goalie for this game.
Yes.
Yes.
And he rocks.
So obviously, I mean, the highlight of this game is Nico doing the most to shut Connor McDavid down. But looking at other guys, we got some weird lines going on here. I really didn't know what to expect. Brett Pesce taking the first goal.
Hell yeah.
That was exciting.
His dad wasn't even, he was at bowling or something.
Yeah, I think he totally missed it. Yep.
That was awesome. That was incredible. The look on his face, like the shock and excitement on his face.
Like, oh, it's been a while. Nice.
So delightful. I love having Brett Pesce on the team.
He's great.
That was a hustle, by the way, because this was during a weird line. This was during the, I'm like, what even is this? The Holla Glass Brat line.
That's so strange. What is happening?
I have no idea.
I think Holla might have even been the one who set up the skull to Pesce. I think that's correct.
I remember saying something like the assists were Holla and Brad. Like
right.
something like
That's
that.
right.
When I looked at the board, I'm like, what's going on?
You're like, what?
Okay.
Who's on the team?
And Pesce scoring.
What?
Yeah.
It's working.
Throwing jelly at the wall.
I think this is proof that any line Brat is on is good.
True.
Ooh.
Further evidence, controversial opinion,
Yep.
maybe not controversial opinion.
No,
the
he's great.
Devils can win without Jack, but they cannot win without Brat.
I genuinely think, I fully am on board with that.
I think it would just be poor Jack's luck that he would be injured out the rest of the season and we would go all the way to the Stanley Cup.
I don't
think we will, but I feel like that would be just his luck.
I fully believe if that happened, he would pull like a Matthew Tkachuk and just limp his way on.
Yeah,
for
he
the-
would.
for
He would
the-
force his way back onto that ice.
Yeah.
I don't want him to do that. I don't want him to destroy his shoulder for the rest
No,
of
me
his
neither.
career.
But he would absolutely do it because otherwise he'd kill himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I am proud of Jack, though, for making the decision to not muscle through and actually go through a surgery.
Yeah.
Because that's got to be so difficult.
Because we know he wants to just do that more than anything. He wants to just play.
I'm glad though he has the long term.
Yeah, in mind.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This was actually a pretty close game. The final score was only 2-3.
Mhm.
And it really could. I love games like this.
It
It
was
really could have
thrilling.
been anyone's game.
Mhm.
Good old Krusty McDavid fed Draisaitl at some point and they tie it
Yep.
up.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm never gonna be a Connor McDavid fan.
No.
Except with his Connor McDavid is one of the Pride tape players. He does the Pride
Fair
events
enough.
and stuff. So okay,
Yep.
McDavid, I'll give you that.
I will say my favorite chant from the Devils was McDavid is overrated during the game.
Oh.
I almost died. It's he is fantastic,
good.
but the chant was funny.
Oh my gosh. The thing about Connor McDavid is that watching him play is like watching wet cardboard. And it's and he's and I don't mean that in the sense of how he plays, because obviously he's good. I just
Right.
mean in the sense of the emotional reaction I have to it.
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
It's just it's oatmeal. It's
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't get it. Whatever the magic is that people feel when they watch Connor McDavid, I don't have that imbued in me. And the Oilers fans did not give it to me in this
Yeah.
game. Some sexy passing.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're talking about. You notice what I didn't see as much of. I didn't go back and count all of them. So you're just gonna have to take my.
This is vibes.
You're just gonna have to trust me that this is
This is all
correct.
vibes.
It's fact. It's on this show.
It's as many shitty neutral zone turnovers. And
Despite some of Luke's best efforts to pass to the opposite team.
Aw,
Luke was
bud.
hustling, okay?
He was.
He was trying to
He was.
he was trying to play the role of two brothers this game.
He was.
That's
and I
true.
only noticed this game because every time he did it, my dad would hit me and be like, he did it again. He did it
Well,
again.
your dad also thought Luke was Jack the entire game and
Yes.
didn't believe us when we explained that there are multiple hues.
Oh my God.
It was so
yeah.
funny.
Okay, yeah. Luke was trying.
Yes.
That's so funny.
But I literally said, I'm like, he doesn't need to pass, but he's great at defending.
He
Like,
needed to settle
was
down a
doing
little.
Great.
Yeah, he needed to settle down a little. But there was this beautiful tic-tac-toe from Nico to Timo to Palat, who took the shot. It's a little bit of a rhyme.
Oh yeah.
I didn't read it as a rhyme, but that's okay. Palat
That's fine.
to take the shot. Anyway, it was incredible. It didn't go in, but I don't care. That was sexy passing. It was a beautiful play. And that was one of
Yes.
those moments where I was like, oh my God, things are
Mhm.
connecting. So all of the scoring really happened in the second period. The first period, was just kind of them pacing themselves, settling in, kind of seeing what the vibe is going to be. Third period does not start strong for the Devils.
No, this is that was a little stressful.
And the Oilers briefly take the lead. And I remember thinking, oh, this could be the start of the unraveling.
Yes.
And then Jesper Bratt proved my statement correct that the Devils need Bratt because he scored, tied it back up, settled them back down. We're at 2-2. Now, I want you to think for a second.
Thinking.
It's the third period.
Mm-hmm.
You're running out of time. Nico's getting tired. He's fighting for his life out there. You're tied. 2-2. Who is going to come out here and be your hero? Who's going to save the day? Who's going to win this game for you?
First answer's Nico, then it's Bratt. I know who it was, but that's who I would, if I had to like put money on it, I'd be like, oh, Nico's going to score. Bratt's going to score. But do you know who scored?
Tell me, Shannon.
The person that the fans booed when they came out on the ice. I was so
Yeah.
heartbroken. I'm
They
like,
really?
just- yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And it really irked me. Nemitz took the game-winning goal. That was fantastic. Everybody cheered. I was like, that was the momentum and the reminder everybody needed. I feel like the booing, it's like a lot of people were putting all the expectations of how we were with like Siegenthaler on Nemitz. And I'm like, that's not fair.
Okay, but Nemitz also kind of sucked.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
game was it?
I can't remember which one. I don't think it deserves
yeah.
booing, but that's just me. I think no one deserves booing for their play. But
Yeah, no, I wouldn't boo
Yeah,
either.
yeah.
But I wouldn't say that it's necessarily. I would disagree.
I'm not saying that
it's
he's
that it's.
doing good.
No, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think he's inconsistent. I just don't think it
Yes.
has anything to do with Siegenthaler. I just
Yeah.
think it has more to do with the fact that Nemitz is very inconsistent. And when he's bad, he really struggles. But when he's good, he's really good. It's kind of similar to an Alex Holtz situation.
Yeah. I was going to say
Actually.
to the Devils as a team situation.
Yeah.
Well,
But it was exciting.
But yeah, Sheldon Keefe actually talked about this with Nemitz because a lot of people didn't know if he was shocked that he survived the trade deadline.
Oh.
I can paraphrase what he said, but he was kind of talking about like with me with Siegenthaler and Dougie on injuries. He said, that's what happens when you have injuries. You've got to put guys in situations. How he specifically talked about Nemitz, he said, I can't remember Sarah, do you remember which game this was? I'm driving myself crazy. Was it Columbus or was it? It might have been Winnipeg. I think it might have been this awful Winnipeg game that fell apart. Either way, he said that player that played in the third period is in the wrong league. The player that played before that throughout our road trip can help us. We've got to find some consistency.
Whoa.
Dang.
And he kind of goes on to talk about how the NHL is not really a league where you work through your growing pains. And that's kind of more what you do in the AHL, which I kind of think he has a point.
I agree.
Something Lindy Ruff would not have been bold enough to say about Alex Holtz last year.
No. And I also just appreciate Keith saying that and just like it makes me feel like he's wise and he's a good coach.
Yeah. And there's certain honesty to it.
Yeah. It was a good game.
Good
It was
game.
exciting.
Good effort.
Thrilling.
Let's go Devils.
And then we lose. So then we went to Pittsburgh.
What happened?
We had no business losing this game. No business. I watched this game. I barely took any notes and I was just very upset. Like we just like fell apart in a way that wasn't necessary. Like I couldn't even find a rhyme to the reason why things were just like not connecting. We were scrambling was how I would describe it. Like we just I felt like we were panicked the whole time trying to make magic happen, but nothing happened. I hate this game.
Yeah, it didn't start off terrible. Cody Glass was the X this time, and he started off by taking his revenge goal.
Good.
Good for him.
And then it kind of went downhill for there. The Penguins scored twice in like 10 seconds.
It was 24 seconds apart.
Yeah, the Penguins did.
And it was just, you could feel the deflation in everybody's morale.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we could still come back from this, but the momentum was not with us at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a classic. The usual suspects kind of struggled. Dawson Mercer turned over the puck. Nemitz is at the scene of the crime doing weird things.
Just like you were saying.
And it's like the classic passes not connecting, things not getting set up, silly turnovers happening.
Yes.
And then the Penguins kind of take the momentum. The Devils start to scramble. They panic. They can't chill out. They can't settle down.
Nope.
It started to get demoralizing when the third goal for the Penguins, Marchand was there and he just couldn't get his pad down to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
This was an ESPN game and they were kind of, I'm just so biased towards Bill and Dano.
Oh, yeah.
You know, this third goal that the Penguins took, for what it's worth, like Dumo was skating hard, kind of like lost his edge, crashed out, whatever. I don't know. Maybe if he'd been able to join the play, Crosby wouldn't have been able to set up the shot that led to the Penguins scoring. I don't know. But either way, it was kind of really a blockable shot and they just didn't block it.
It's like you're not going to be perfect 100% of the time.
Yeah.
But I agree. I don't like how ESPN digged into it. He was he's like 100 out of 100 that should have been blocked. Something like that. And I was like,
yeah,
you do it. You go out there and do it.
Yeah.
And from here, something that I've noticed that has irked me before about the Devils is the tendency to wait for a perfect shot.
Yes.
Instead of just taking a shot.
Has plagued them for so long.
And I feel like I have I need like a practice drill to offer the Devils.
I like this.
Where they try to set up a forecheck while Keefe just like shoots ping pong balls at them. And they have to ignore the chaos and take the shot, even if it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in practice, they just set up these perfect shots and they take these perfect shots.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they just need someone in their face annoying them.
Yes.
Because
we need dirtier goals.
This is why, we always ask the question, why do the Devils make every goalie look like the best goalie in the NHL?
Mm-hmm.
And it's because any goalie can be the best goalie in the NHL if you completely signal what shot you're about to take, wait, set it up, and let them get into position and block it.
Yes.
I could be the best goalie in the NHL if you did that. And the moment when I lost all hope was when Nate Bastian scored a shorty and they took it away for offside.
That's heartbreaking.
There was like this moment of like, did that just happen? What is this happening? And I think this is around the time where everyone kind of stopped watching. And then the Devils just like really know how to get our hopes up to crash to just.
Well, I mean, to be honest, that PK was awesome.
Yes, we had it. It was. I think it was a double minor.
Yeah,
too, because they drew blood. And
and then this was afterwards. And then so the PK was PKing.
Yeah,
even
it
though
was great.
They didn't keep Nate Bastian's goal. Like you were saying, they had multiple penalties afterwards. Oh, and then the Devils had to go. What did they get the score to? Like 3-4?
Yes. So then we went on the power play for 4 minutes. And I forget who scored first because I didn't write it down. If it was Luke or Timo. I have to look it up.
That's okay.
I can't remember. But we scored. And all of a sudden I was like,
I think it was one of those goals that got credited to multiple people.
Yeah. And then we immediately drew another penalty and went into another power play for another 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's when Luke scored.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, we're almost back in the game.
Special teams were special teams.
Yeah. And I think both of you had commented just like, I think I turned off the game.
Well, I was scared to jinx it because the Devils were like doing well. Like, Cody Glass scored at the beginning. And then as soon as I turned the game on, the Penguins scored twice in like 20 seconds.
Yes.
And as soon as I turned the game off, Timo scores and then Luke scores. And I was like, well, what do I do?
Yes.
I'm scared.
And we were so close because of the way, because Luke scored and we were still on the double minor. We still had like a minute and something left of power play time. I'm like, we could tie it right now. Like right now.
And then it ends 7-3.
Yeah, then we fell apart.
How does that happen?
There was an empty net in there and the rest was a blur.
I don't even know. 7-3 is a new low. That's not 6-3.
I was so upset because I'm like, how do I go from this? Oh my gosh, we almost have this. We're almost going to tie to 7-3.
Yes.
How do we do that as a team? What's happening?
I don't even know. This was one of the pins I was going to put. There were 2 pins.
Yep. 2 pins.
The one pin was, like I was saying, I forget. The first pin is when the Devils fall apart, this is the same as the Winnipeg game. You can't just lose. You lose 6-1. You can't just lose. You lose 7-3.
Yeah, they crash and burn.
Like, I don't get that.
We exploded.
And I mean, at least they're not getting shut out right now, but it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And this one too, I saw some like discourse about this, but so this was they had won 3 games going into this. And so this would have been their 4th game in a row if they had won. And some people were like, they can't win 4 in a row. And I saw other people being like, well, what does it matter if they win 4 in a row? Like 4. And the thing about it is, it doesn't matter if you win 4 in a row, but being able to win 4 games is kind of important if you're going to the playoffs, because that's how many you need to win.
Yes.
Yep.
It sure matters.
It doesn't have to be 4 in a row, but
but 2 consistently is a good idea.
And I feel like when you lose, does it need to be by this much?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is what I'm saying. I think they need to, and this is what makes me, I think that the playoffs are not in the
cards for us.
Yeah. Well, like I
don't think we're going to have
because
we're not having a deep run in the playoffs.
That's the kind of stress that you have to be able to handle.
You got to be able to handle it.
Yeah.
And they can't.
Yes. I miss getting shut out like 0-1 because I'm like, at least it was a 1-goal game. Damn. I never thought I was going to say that.
No. So that one was sad.
But we ended it on a high note again.
Yeah.
I was making corned beef and cabbage this whole game.
I think everyone was. Not me. I'm not Irish.
No.
I think the Irish people were.
Probably. Yeah. All I have for this game is chaos.
Yes.
Yeah. And it only...
It was also a chaotic game.
Yeah.
And only went to 2-1.
Somehow, yeah. Despite it feeling like it was way more chaotic than that.
Sarah, what's this first note here?
So first couple notes were taken by Roman because we were watching the game on my phone at a bar. So I asked him to take notes for me. And this is what he wrote. You're going to have to bleep this one, Shannon, because this is insane to put in this show.
What does this mean?
All right, I'll bleep it.
This is what Roman said about Nico. It's Nico. He sure looks like he has a...
What does that mean?
So that's why we cannot keep this in the show. Because that's too much.
Oh my God.
I'll just bleep it.
First thing he wrote. First thing he wrote.
It will be bleeped.
Yep.
Woo!
And then I did not actually say this quote this way, but he wrote that I said, Dougie looks hot when I was a child. But I was referring to when we were talking about our Valentines and when we were saying like how who we would have picked to give our Valentine to when we were in elementary school. And my answer was Dougie, because it's true. That's who it would have been when I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
But that, quote got taken out of context, clearly.
Yes, it did.
All right.
So, yep.
That's really all I have to say.
Not asking him to take
this.
notes for me ever again.
That seems fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. This game in between, like drinking with my dad and cooking, I was like, this game's important. We have to pay attention. You need to pay attention for me.
Yeah.
That didn't work out so well, but I did catch the third period, which is really when anything happened in this game.
Timo Meier March Madness continued. He just powered it through and just gets it through the 5-hole. Hell yeah. And then the Bratman scored shortly after, which was both their 20th goal of the year. He just kind of punches it in. Hell yeah. Columbus gets one in the third period, but I wasn't bothered. Just wasn't worried for some reason. Even though Columbus was out shooting them like crazy in the third period. They had like 16 shots at this point, and the Devils had 3 in that period. Pretty bad. But thankfully Jake the Snake was there, keeping it contained, keeping it cool.
Jake the Snake is a Reputation Taylor's version Easter egg.
I don't know what that means.
His graphic was
people
really
will.
cool.
Yeah, the Jake the Snake graphic is sick with the snake like crawling out of the mask.
Yeah.
Slithering
hell
out.
yeah.
It's really cool.
Hell
Allie
yeah.
tried to get a picture of it, but we were too late.
Yeah,
Yep.
we tried to
Yep.
get one.
I forgot Severson was on this team until I heard his name again.
That's right.
Completely forgot.
Whoops.
Yeah. Wow.
Damon Severson.
I hope he's having a good time.
More things change.
And then in the last minute, Columbus pulled their goalie and it was just all sorts of chaos. And the Devils were doing a good job of keeping it chaos, just messing up absolutely everything that Columbus was trying to do. They weren't able to successfully really do things themselves. They were just all over the place, back and forth. It was a mess, but it was fun.
I love that.
They got those 2 points, 8-point lead now, baby.
Woo!
Yay.
A lot of games.
We
Do you
did
know what? We didn't have a lot of fights.
Shame.
So we're going to move into our Skirkuffle Award because this is where we give Academy Awards to the most cinematic fights of this week. There were no fights, and I'm going to move on. There was nothing cinematic. I checked the backlogs for the games that I missed, and there's nothing going on. Brendan Dillon was definitely like putting himself out there and getting in a little bit. I would call them more scrums, but there was no fisticuffs. Sadness. Everyone else is fighting, but we're like, maybe we're waiting.
I think maybe they're also too injured. They don't want to make things worse on themselves.
Yeah, that's probably part of it. But nobody gets an award this week.
Fair enough.
So we're going to move on. All right, Allie. What are the whispers on the Twitter wins this week?
All right. I had multiple different options.
Okay.
But it was kind of a busy episode. So
yeah,
I really was just going to give you just some quick things.
Sure. All right. Give us the highlights.
Yeah.
There's no highlights. There's one thing. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm distracted by my one thing. Okay. Yep. A new book came out.
Oh.
As you know, if you're listening to this episode, we have previously done a dramatic reading on our mid-year madness of, oh gosh, what's that book called?
Icebreaker.
Icebreaker. That's right. So you can go check that out. But Lexi LaFleur Brown, I'm a big fan. I think she's really funny. She decided to write her own hockey romance book, but from like kind of the cheeky insider perspective, obviously, because she's married to an NHLer.
Oh, I had none of this context.
Oh yeah, I don't know if she knows who Lexi is.
No, I don't.
Okay.
But this is fascinating.
Yeah.
All right.
So she's one of those people online who will like, whenever people ask like, what is it like for the wives and girlfriends of NHL players, blah, 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 blah. She'll like talk about things like, oh, this is what happens if like you're, with a player who gets traded and you're like in a group chat for one team, blah, blah, blah. Here's like, she'll like say things about like the jackets or like yada, yada, yada. She'll just like answer some like inside questions and
That's
things.
fun.
And she's like funny and makes jokes and stuff. So anyway, she decided to write her own hockey romance book.
Lovely.
People are very excited about it. She's been doing like press and media for it and stuff. The reviews have been mixed. Just gonna be 100% honest.
Okay.
I have not read this book yet.
I will read it.
Yep.
I will read it in its entirety.
So it is called Shoot Your Shot.
Fun title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
cute,
it.
clever, punny
It's kind of a long
excerpt.
book. No, it's kind of like a long book description. But basically, it's a aspiring tattoo artist meets a
Whoa.
down on his luck hockey player who gets like a last minute spot on a team.
Okay.
And they fall in love.
Sure.
And
Okay.
whatever. Okay. So I have a quote from this book for each of us to read.
Oh.
Now,
Okay, cool.
these quotes were taken, there's only 3 of them. They were taken from like other people's Goodreads review of the book or like screenshots that people have posted. Because like I said, I haven't had a chance to like fully read it myself. So I was just curious to see like what people are thinking of the book, what's out there. And these are screenshots of things from the book that people have posted. I have one for each of you.
I'm so excited.
This one. Okay, this one is for you, Sarah.
Okay.
The first one that I'm sending.
Well, things are over with Kit, and much like the era from which that American Girl doll's backstory originated, I too am in a great depression.
10 out of 10.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Incredible.
Did she name the character Kit just for this line, or did she just happen to name the character Kit and then just was struck with inspiration one day?
I don't know.
I love that.
Incredible.
That's so good.
All right. This one's for me. I'm going to read the next one. Shannon, do you want a normal one or do you want a spicy one?
I assumed it was going to be spicy.
It is.
So just give me the spice. I can handle the heat.
All right.
Do it.
And if it's too much, then I'll read the other one and decide for the
I'm going to read this one first and then I'll give you another. I'll give you yours. Okay. Men are like bears. If you hold eye contact with them for too long, they think it's a challenge they can't back away from.
I really cannot wait to read this book. These are excellent selections. All right, is this my spicy
for you, Shannon? But we can choose a different one if you want to.
Wow. All right, here we go. I can't believe the biggest bust in NHL history busted inside my bestie. I've never heard Cooper so proud of me before. Technically, he also busted on me, I say, from my toppled over position on the box. What did I just read? I don't even think I understand the spice. Like, what?
Oh, you don't?
No. I got it.
Holy shit.
Because I just read, I didn't process.
Are you processing now?
The processing that Shannon is doing right now.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, man. Yep.
I will say, unlike Heartbreaker Spice.
Icebreaker? Sorry, I messed you up. I know I messed you up earlier. I said the wrong title.
You're right. Unlike, it is Icebreaker.
Yeah, you said Heartbreaker.
Oh, unlike Icebreaker Spice, I'm glad this one had a little more anything to it. It wasn't just like direct, explicit like it was, but it was funny.
This is what I'm saying.
This is a lot better.
This is funner. Yeah.
I think this is like silly shit. I kind of think it's meant to be a little bit cringy.
Yeah, this is cringy in a funny way. The other one was cringy in like a...
They weren't trying to be cringy way.
Right. Like it wasn't funny at all. It was just like flat out disgusting.
There were some very funny moments in that book. I need to share with you my favorite quotes that I took throughout the book.
I can't wait.
I'm not quite done with it yet because it's so fucking long. But
yes, it is. Wow. No, we'll leave that one in there.
Yep.
I'm sure I'll be at the Target just like the rest.
Probably.
Pick it up.
Well, with that in mind, let's not worry about it.
Because this is the segment where we don't worry about it because sometimes I'm saying some random shit. Sometimes it's very spicy. And the announcers do it too.
Yeah, it is.
So this week we got Tortellini's Not Happy.
Is this about the Flyers coach?
Yep.
Nice.
Oh!
These first three are all from Roman.
Then we got Tortellini's Pissed. I'm just
usual
literally
way for him to be.
Picturing like a tortellini with like a face on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
angry.
That's this man.
The old mercenary himself.
Yep.
What?
Sure.
Take a guess which player that's referring to.
Mercer?
Yep.
Oh! Next we certainly expect the puck to end up in the net tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, like no kidding.
Usually happens at least once.
I like this. Kovacevic activates.
Like he's a transformer.
That's exactly what I was picturing. I'm like a robot. Oh gosh.
Sorry, Shannon.
Should I put that one at the end? I'll put that one at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. Mrs. Fields' effect is hard to deny.
It is hard
Commentators
to deny.
would not stop talking about Mrs. Fields.
No, they did not. And it started bugging me at one point. I was like you're ESPN. You are not.
You're not in on the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drysdale Freight Trains Heischer. Oof. I don't like that one. I like this one. Halloween Meyer. I get what they were going for.
You do?
Yeah, like Mike Myers. Halloween Meyer. Is that not it?
I assumed this was like a Jekyll and Hyde type thing.
I didn't even get that, huh?
We always call him Jekyll and Hyde. No, I have no idea what they're talking about.
I just
Meyer.
completely assumed Halloween Mike Myers. But
what does that mean?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know what they were talking about. I don't know what the context was. Just heard that.
I think this is like us calling him Jekyll and Hyde when he's Timo and Tio.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe that's their version
T.O.
of
is
it.
Halloween Meyer?
T.O. is Halloween Meyer.
Maybe.
Quality show.
He's snake bitten here.
Rep TV.
What? This was
I don't know.
Bill said this. All right.
Yeah.
We got to figure out what this means.
Why are they saying this now?
I don't
What does
know.
that mean?
They're Easter egging Rep TV.
I
Maybe.
guess. And lastly, we have he had a big gaping net to shoot at.
And still missed.
Did not need to be described in such a manner.
You said you would read the spice, Shannon.
I did. And I read it.
You did.
It was bad.
Oh
Well,
boy.
Let's wrap this up and move
I'm
into
so
our
sorry.
It Boy of the Week.
Did we say anything this episode? I feel how we said so much and so nothing.
But I have a nomination.
I got a nomination.
I
I have a nomination.
All
I
right.
have two, but I'll decide later.
All right.
Okay.
I'm very committed to my nomination.
All right.
Sure.
You go first.
Mrs. Fields.
Oh. I
Whoa.
hadn't considered I had an actual nomination.
So did I.
Oh, damn. But that's good. We shouldn't have let you go first.
That's true.
We can do it again and
I
I can
messed
go after.
It's too
Nope.
late.
It's already happened. I was going to nominate Just for Brat
Yeah.
because assist king.
Yeah. The
I,
Devils are nothing without Brat.
Yep.
I was going to nominate Jake just for being
Yeah.
Jake the Snake
The
and
Snake.
just holding it down for us.
That's fair. That's fair too.
And
I like that.
as usual.
So who's, how do we decide?
I don't know how we decide here,
I
but I
don't
a
know.
mean,
three-way
This
split.
is unusual for us.
how do we not
Um,
give it to Mrs. Fields, though, is the thing.
I'm like conscious.
How do we not?
That's how I feel weird about it. I'm like, that's the obvious answer, but I'm like, we're
Yeah.
gonna make an It Boy of the Week a cookie, but sure. But that also feels very on track for us. So I'm
Yep.
just like,
We made Sarah at Boy of the Week once.
yeah,
Yep. Last
There's
week it
no
was Sheldon
rules.
Keefe.
it's we're going.
Yeah.
I think it's Mrs. Fields. We're sparking the energy
Yeah.
back into the rock
Yeah.
to give us a win for that game.
Yeah.
For both games against the Oilers.
Shannon and I have costumes planned
We do.
for the Rangers
Ew.
game.
Oh.
I need to purchase. I will be on Amazon tomorrow.
And you remember we were talking about Wilmac at the beginning?
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
like ship name combination, whatever they're doing with their names. I was
Yeah.
going to do that for whoever the It Boy nominees were going to be. But I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know how to combine Mrs. Fields, Just for Brat, and Jake Allen into one name. So
Wait, hold on.
Mrs.
Mrs.
Just Ballin. That's what I'm going with.
Just Ballin.
Yep, that's all I got.
To combine a name for like one of the goofy lines. It was like Pesci, Holla, and Brat.
Yes, that was one. Yeah.
It was Holla,
Pesci's-
Glass, and Brat.
Yeah.
Oh, last Peshala. I don't
It's
know.
hard.
Pesci's
It's
not
hard.
in that line.
It's not in there.
You
I
just
said
want him
nothing.
there.
He just wants him to be. That's okay.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I don't got anything.
Nope, that's it.
Yep, that's it.
All right,
That's enough.
because this is Hot Girls Hockey. Tune in next week for more sugar.
Spice.
And everything ice.
If you like our show, please leave us a rating, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, follow us on TikTok and YouTube, and tweet at us at hotgirlshockey_.